Why men are choosing extremes and what actually works. If you're watching this right now, chances are you felt something feels off, not just in dating, not just in relationships, but in how men are navigating life, purpose, and identity right now. And instead of clarity, what many men are finding are extremes. On one side, you have rage, on the other, withdrawal. On one side, hyperdominance, resentment, and contempt. On the other, isolation, avoidance, and giving up altogether. What I want to talk about today is why men are choosing these extremes. And more importantly, what actually works. Not theory, not ideology, not internet slogans, but real grounded principles that hold up in business, leadership, and relationships. Let's start with something honest. Most men didn't wake up one day and decide to become angry, bitter, or checked out. They were pushed there. They tried being good men. They tried communicating. They tried commitment. They tried self-improvement. And at some point, many of them felt ignored, dismissed, disrespected, or disposable. That pain is real, and pretending it doesn't exist is actually part of the problem. Here's what happens next. When men experience pain without guidance, they look for certainty, and extremes offer certainty. They offer clean explanations. It's all women's fault. Society's rigged. Never trust anyone. Never attach again. Always dominate. Always withdraw. Extremes feel powerful because they remove ambiguity. They say, if you just follow these rules, you'll never get hurt again. But here's the truth most men don't want to hear. Certainty is comforting, but it's very rarely accurate. Let's talk about the two most common extremes. First, rage and domination. This path tells men that the solution is control. Control women, control outcomes, control your emotions, never ever be vulnerable, never soften, never question anything. On the surface, it looks strong, but under it, there's fear. Fear of rejection, fear of insignificance, fear of being powerless again. Anger feels like strength, but it's often unresolved grief wearing armor. And armor might protect you, but it also isolates you. The second extreme is withdrawal. This is the man who says, I'm done with women. I don't need anyone anymore. I'll focus on myself and block everything else out. Now listen carefully, because parts of this path are actually healthy. Self-focus is good. Boundaries are great. Independence is good. But when withdrawal becomes identity, when it's fueled by avoidance instead of purpose, it quietly erodes you. And that's not good for you, because humans don't thrive in permanent retreat. They stagnate. So we have two extremes. One lashes out at the world. The other disappears from it. Both are reactions, not solutions. And neither actually works in the long run. So what does work? What works is something much harder and much quieter. Integration. Strength with self-control. Standards without contempt. Boundaries without bitterness. And purpose without isolation. This is the path very few men are talking about because it doesn't sell outrage, but it builds lives. Let me say this clearly. Being a strong man does not mean being emotionally numb. Being disciplined does not mean being closed off. Having standards does not mean dehumanizing others. Real strength is regulated. It's the ability to stay grounded when emotions rise, to walk away without resentment, to choose and not react. Here's something I've learned across business, leadership, and my own personal relationships. Men don't lose power when they feel. They lose power when feelings control them. That's a huge difference. Let's talk about standards. Healthy standards sound like this. I don't tolerate disrespect. I don't chase attention. I don't overinvest early. I don't abandon myself for validation. Unhealthy standards sound like all women are the same. Never trust anyone. Attachment is weakness. One protects your dignity, the other hardens your heart. Only one leads to peace. Here's another hard truth. Many men confuse boundaries with walls. Boundaries are flexible. They let the right people in. Walls block everyone out, including good people. If you've built walls, ask yourself, are they protecting me or are they preventing growth? Now let's talk about accountability, because this is where things get uncomfortable. Yes, men are facing real challenges today. Yes, the dating culture is broken in many, many ways. Yes, expectations can be unfair, and still, your life improves the moment you reclaim responsibility for it. Not blaming others, responsibility. Your responsibility is your power. Every man has to eventually ask himself, am I becoming more grounded or more reactive, more discerning or more cynical, more capable or more closed? because no ideology can answer that for you. Only self-honesty can. Here's what actually works. You build a life that doesn't beg anyone for validation. You cultivate your purpose that exists with or without someone's approval. You develop emotional discipline, not suppression. You learn to walk away calmly, not angrily. You choose partners, not out of scarcity, but out of alignment. That's not flashy, that's not viral, but it's real. Let me say something that might surprise you. You don't need to win in relationships. You need to qualify them. The moment you stop trying to convince and start observing, everything changes. A grounded man doesn't argue his value or his worth. He doesn't explain himself endlessly. He doesn't perform masculinity. He embodies it quietly, consistently, without resentment. This is why extremes fail. They keep men stuck in reaction mode. They outsource thinking. They turn complexity into enemies, and life is complex. Strong men don't run from complexity. They master themselves within it. If you've been angry, I understand. If you've withdrawn, I get it. But understand this too. Neither path is your destination. They're just signals. Signals that something needs to be integrated and resolved, not avoided or weaponized. So here's the alternative I'm offering. Not the red pill, not anti-red pill, not MGTOW, not anti-MGTOW, not submission, just reality. Build yourself, regulate your emotions, take responsibility, set clean standards, choose peace over performance, growth over grievance, and presence over posturing. That works. And if this episode resonated with you, if it felt calmer than what you usually hear, that's intentional. Because clarity doesn't shout, it steadies. This channel exists to help men build lives they don't need to escape from, whether it's business, leadership, relationships, or just peace with yourself. No extremes are required. Thank you for being here. Thank you for thinking critically. Thank you for choosing growth over noise. Stay grounded, stay sharp, and keep building yourself quietly.